In this episode, we're going to turn motivation into something you can actually use by building a spoken study plan that fits into real life and still covers every AAIR practice area. Most beginners do not fail because they are lazy or because the material is too advanced, but because their study effort is scattered, inconsistent, and too dependent on mood. A plan is not a schedule carved in stone. It is a set of simple rules that make it easier to show up, repeat key ideas, and notice what you are not understanding yet. Audio-first learning has its own strengths, like letting you study while walking, commuting, or doing routine tasks, but it also has a risk. You can feel like you are learning because you are listening, even when your memory is not getting stronger. The goal here is to build a plan that uses repetition and deliberate recall, so listening turns into mastery. By the end, you should be able to describe your weekly pattern out loud, know how you will handle missed days without spiraling, and feel confident that you are not leaving major practice areas uncovered. Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to our course companion books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyber.author.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series. A good study plan starts with a clear target, and the target is not just passing an exam, but becoming the kind of thinker the exam is looking for. The AAIR mindset is about recognizing AI risk in real work, using shared language to describe it, and making decisions that are defensible through governance, accountability, evidence, and monitoring. That means your plan should include time for definitions, time for applying concepts, and time for building mental connections across topics. Beginners often spend too much time passively absorbing content and not enough time testing their own understanding. So your plan should treat learning as a cycle. Listen, restate, recall, and then listen again with better questions in your head. You are building a network of ideas, not collecting facts. When you adopt that approach, you can study in short chunks and still make progress, because each chunk strengthens the network rather than adding random new pieces. To make this practical, you need a consistent unit of study that works even on busy days. For most learners, the unit should be small enough that it feels easy to start, because starting is the hardest part. Think in terms of a short daily session where you listen to a segment, then immediately do a spoken recap in your own words, even if it feels imperfect. The recap is where memory forms, because your brain has to retrieve and rebuild the idea instead of just hearing it. If you are alone, you can say it out loud. If you are not, you can whisper it or speak it later when you have privacy. The key is that the recap should happen the same day, close to the listening, so the memory trace is still fresh. If your plan depends on having long, quiet hours, it will break, so design it to succeed in the messy reality of normal life. Now we need a way to make sure you cover every practice area without turning your life into a spreadsheet exercise. The simplest approach is to treat your course as the map and your study plan as the rhythm that walks you through the map. You do not need to know the official blueprint by heart to build a reliable plan, but you do need to respect that the exam will test across multiple areas, including governance, program setup, risk assessment discipline, documentation expectations, monitoring, and escalation. A beginner-friendly method is to rotate through topic families rather than binge one theme for weeks. Rotation helps you avoid the illusion of mastery that happens when you only study one area repeatedly and it starts to feel familiar. When you rotate, you force your brain to retrieve ideas across different contexts, which is closer to what the exam will demand. The plan should also include built-in review loops, so older material stays alive in your memory. One powerful audio-first technique is to create simple spoken prompts for yourself, like mini questions you answer aloud while walking. These prompts do not need to be fancy. They should be short and specific so you can tell whether you truly know the answer. For example, you might ask yourself to define AI risk in one sentence, then give 2 examples of business harm, then explain why governance matters. You might ask yourself to explain the difference between a risk and an incident, or the difference between accountability and responsibility. You might ask yourself what evidence means in an AI context and why documentation is part of risk control. The point is not to invent a huge set of questions, but to reuse a small set repeatedly until your answers become smooth and accurate. This is spaced retrieval, and it is one of the fastest ways to turn listening into exam-ready recall. When your plan includes these prompts, your study time becomes active even when you are not sitting at a desk. Another crucial part of the plan is deciding how you will handle new content versus review content, because beginners often overload themselves with new material. New material feels productive, but review is what makes it stick. A simple rule is that every time you add new learning, you also schedule a smaller amount of review from earlier topics. Review does not need to be long. It just needs to be consistent and intentionally recall-based. Instead of re-listening to entire episodes every time, you can re-listen to a small segment and then do a recap, or you can answer your spoken prompts and then check yourself by replaying a key section. The plan should also include at least one weekly session that is mostly review, where you connect concepts across topics. This is where you start to see how governance decisions affect assessment, how documentation supports monitoring, and how risk appetite connects to escalation triggers. To make sure you cover every practice area, you also need a method for tracking what you have truly learned without turning it into a complicated system. For audio learners, the simplest tracking system is a short spoken check-in at the end of each study day where you name what you learned and what still feels fuzzy. You can do this as a voice memo, or you can just say it out loud. The fuzzy parts are not failures, they are targets. If you notice that you keep calling something by the wrong name, or you cannot explain a concept without circling, that is a sign you need a short review loop. Over time, you will build a personal list of sticking points, like differences between similar terms or steps in a process that you keep mixing up. This is more useful than tracking hours studied, because time alone does not predict performance. Clarity predicts performance, and clarity comes from retrieval and correction. Because you are preparing for an exam, your plan should include practice with exam-style thinking, not just content absorption. Exam-style thinking means you can read or hear a scenario and decide what matters, what the risk is, and what the best response is, using the certification's values. Even without doing formal question banks, you can practice this by taking a simple situation and asking what the safest and most defensible decision would be. For example, if a team wants to use AI in a high-impact decision, what governance and evidence would you expect before relying on it? If a vendor offers an AI tool but refuses to explain limitations, what risk flags should you raise? If employees are using public AI tools with sensitive data, what policies and controls should exist? This kind of mental practice trains you to choose the best answer among plausible options, which is the core exam skill. Your plan should include a little of this each week so you are not surprised by the exam style. A study plan also needs to be emotionally sustainable because beginners often underestimate how motivation fluctuates. You need rules for bad days so bad days do not turn into missed weeks. One rule might be that on low-energy days, you still do a minimum session, even if it is short, because consistency keeps the habit alive. Another rule might be that if you miss a day, you do not try to make up everything at once. You simply resume the next day and schedule a small catch-up later. Another rule might be that you never do your hardest study after exhausting work hours, because you will confuse fatigue with inability. These rules are not about being soft. They are about designing for reality. A plan that only works when you feel perfect is not a plan, it is a wish. It also helps to understand the difference between recognition and recall, because audio learning can accidentally favor recognition. Recognition is when something feels familiar when you hear it again, and that can be comforting but misleading. Recall is when you can produce the idea without hearing it first, and that is what the exam requires. So your plan should include frequent moments where you stop and try to explain something without replaying it. You might do this at the end of a segment, at the end of a walk, or while doing a routine task. If you cannot explain it, that is not a reason to panic. It is feedback. Then you replay the relevant portion, listen again, and try your explanation again. That loop is what builds durable memory, and it is one of the most important habits you can build as a beginner. Another element that strengthens coverage is interleaving, which means mixing related concepts so you learn to separate them cleanly. For AAIR, many concepts are close in meaning, like policy versus standard, governance versus management, monitoring versus assessment, or risk appetite versus tolerance. If you learn these in isolation, they can blur together. Your plan should include sessions where you practice distinguishing these pairs and explaining the difference in plain language. This matters because exam questions often test whether you can choose the correct concept for the situation, not whether you can repeat a definition. Interleaving also reduces overconfidence because it forces you to retrieve the right idea among similar ideas. Over time, this creates sharper understanding, and sharp understanding is what makes exam questions feel less confusing. We should also build a plan for the final stretch before the exam, because last-minute cramming is common and often counterproductive. In the final stretch, the goal is not to learn brand-new concepts, but to stabilize recall and reduce careless errors. That means your plan should shift toward review, spoken prompts, and scenario reasoning, while still lightly touching any weak areas you identified. You should also practice calm pacing, because stress can collapse your ability to recall even things you know. The final stretch is a time to reduce noise, keep sleep steady, and keep your study sessions short and consistent. If you try to double your hours at the end, you may increase anxiety and fatigue, which harms performance. A calm, repeated review pattern is a better use of time than a desperate sprint. Now let's put all of this into a simple spoken plan you can repeat to yourself, because a plan you cannot say out loud is usually too complicated to follow. The plan is built on a daily minimum, a weekly rhythm, and a review loop that protects coverage. The daily minimum is a short listen plus a spoken recap, even on busy days, so the habit never dies. The weekly rhythm rotates across different topic families, so you keep the whole map active in your head. The review loop adds spaced retrieval prompts so earlier material stays strong while you learn new material. You also keep a short list of fuzzy points and revisit them intentionally instead of hoping they fix themselves. If you follow that plan, you will not only cover practice areas, but you will develop the kind of recall and reasoning that makes exam questions feel manageable. To close, remember that the best study plan for an audio-first learner is not the plan that sounds impressive, but the plan that you can follow when you are tired, busy, and distracted. AAIR content becomes much easier when your learning is steady, because each new concept has a place to connect, and you stop feeling like you are juggling unrelated terms. Your job is to build a rhythm where listening leads to speaking, speaking leads to recall, and recall reveals what to review next. If you can do that, you will walk into the exam with a calm sense that you have seen the full landscape and practice thinking within it. In the next episodes, we will begin building the foundational AI concepts in plain language, and your plan will help you absorb them without overwhelm. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, and let repetition do its work.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.